we're sitting around, maybe have one exercise a year or two a year or something like that. When I got to Korea back then, it was Kim Jong Il, which was Kim Jong Un's dad.
Yeah.
And things were pretty intense at that point in time in Korea. So we were doing an exercise a month.
Constant, man.
Yeah, every 3 weeks, we were doing a 1 week exercise where we were full wartime mode, playing war games. It was absolutely intense. But I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I joined into the military for, was to do exactly that. I was so excited about it. When I got the orders to Korea, I'll never forget, I was actually in the desert in 2003 for Operation Iraqi Freedom, and we had gotten done with the war, and I'm doing my air quotes right now so that some listeners can see that. And I had some opportunity to get on the computer, looked up some open bases, and I applied for Korea. Got back to the States at Eglin, and then got my orders to Korea, and I was like, man, sweet. So I ended up going to Korea, and I absolutely loved it. I go from the wartime, in the middle of a war at Operation Iraqi Freedom, and then we go right into Korea where it's wartime operations all the time anyway. So, man, that ops tempo was boom, 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 boom. I loved it.
Yep.
Absolutely loved it. Korea was unbelievable. I absolutely love the people. I love the way that they respect their elders. I love their mandatory service for their citizens.
Yeah.
The 2 year service. I think that's unbelievable. I'm a firm believer. I don't know how you feel, but I believe that here in the United States, everybody should have to serve 2 years. And we talk about free college. Hell, let's give them free college.
Yeah.
Give us 2 years of service, we'll give you free college.
Yeah, and it don't have to be active duty. If you're National Guard or Reserve, everything like that. That's especially National Guard. We need National Guard. They have a big role, and it's not just for combat deployments, but it's natural disasters that we experience anywhere in our country, or they're useful. They have their purpose.
They are.
We talk a lot of smack about the National Guard, but they definitely have their place.
Oh, absolutely. I completely agree with that. And when we look at backfilling our places too, and we also look at how they replace us in the desert as well.
Yep.
Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, wherever they're at. Look, they serve just as much as we do,
Yeah.
And the problem is they also don't get the benefits that we do. That's something we really should think about as a country in trying to change that. That's more philosophical standpoint.
Yeah.
We won't get into that on this podcast, but yeah, man, I loved Korea. I thought it was absolutely unbelievable. Loved the people.
It was very interesting.
It was. So were you up at the DMZ at all?
I went up there a couple times, but yeah, I was up at Casey, so I was pretty close to it. But yeah, I think I was actually supposed to go with a group of friends. I can't remember where it was. We were supposed to go do some bungee jumping somewhere, and I think we ended up having an impromptu field problem. That constant training, man. So
impromptu field problem. I like that.
It was always, when we weren't out in the field training, we were training back at the rear,
Absolutely.
outside of the barracks in the motor pool, do this, do that. So
absolutely,
it was constant go, 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 go. But when you got the downtime, you really enjoyed it.
Man, I'll tell you. I'll share a little story of how I really enjoyed some downtime. We had something. We had a long weekend. I don't remember what it was. It was something where the states got a day off, so we got a day off too, right? We went down to South Korea where they had it was called the Mud Fest. It was unbelievable, Troy. So what happens is they have all this mud. It has this therapeutic benefit, and everybody just puts it all over their body. They have limbo contests, and it's a bunch of drinking beer. It wasn't Ichiban. I don't remember what that beer was over there. It was some kind of Korean brand. It was awesome. I loved it. I remember they were like 40s. It was pretty funny when I drank alcohol back then. It cracked me up. So we were rocking around with these beers just covered completely in mud, man. All you could see was the whites of our eyes. It was awesome. They had these big slides that you could slide down, and kids and parents and grandparents were all out. It was just a phenomenal time to experience the culture. I got to eat these mealworms. I got to eat grasshoppers. I got to eat everything that you could think about eating.
Were they at least covered in chocolate?
No, they were actually just baked. It was really neat, man.
Okay,
it was I'm telling you, it was unbelievable. The culture experience was a shock to me too. I was a Georgia boy that wasn't exposed to anything like that. But man, I am so thankful that the military and the United States Air Force sent me to Korea to actually serve with an unbelievable population of people.
It's good, and it really sets you back. A lot of people are really entitled these days, and you just don't know how good you have it in America until you've actually been to some of these other places and see some of, especially when some of them have nothing but negative. Yeah. Completely surrounding everything. So it's really good to it's a whole different insight to how great life is and can be if you make it in America.
Man, and our citizens don't get that because one, they don't get the exposure, right? So they don't get to see the side of the world where being poor is just commonplace. They don't understand that running water is not something that is everywhere in the world. They don't understand that there's not a McDonald's on every corner. They don't understand that, hey, when life gets tough, a lot of times people around the world don't have anything to rely on. So that's one of the reasons we were in Korea. We are technically still there at war, right? So we were there protecting the country, the South Koreans that were unbelievable people.
Yeah.
And wanted us there.
Yeah.
Which is really awesome.
They were good people. A lot of good people there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I heard a neat little story. I may need you to, expand on it a little bit. But did you meet the Sergeant Major of the Army one time? And did you get coined by him?
I actually did. This was on the second deployment when my back had really taken, a turn for the worse. And I was pulled in to work for my first sergeant. I was still out of Nasir Wasalim at the time, and I had to, because I was fighting that med board, I didn't get to get a lot of my gear issued to me before we deployed. So I had to wait till we got there, and then I had to fly back down to good old Kuwait to get my additional gear issued.
Did you really?
I did, yeah. It was nuts. But when I left, we had to convoy from Nasir Wasalim back to Liberty, and while I was there, my first sergeant stepped out to smoke a cigarette. My buddy Coop was like, "Hey, go hide underneath Top's desk." So I went
and Top for everybody.
First sergeant, yeah,
first sergeant, right.
So I went and hid under First Sergeant Van's desk, and he come walking. I scared the piss out of him. He's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm just here to see if I'll get my job, Top." So
funny.
The next day I left, flew out to Kuwait, got my gear. A week later, flew back. My buddy Coop was like, "Hey man, First Sergeant said if you're willing to make him laugh like that, you can work for him."
Oh, that's awesome.
I ended up working for him. Really did a lot of good things with the company there. I worked really hard for him. I wasn't able to do a lot of the physical stuff, the mechanical and all that, but I still worked hard and tried to take pride in my job. And so I actually ended up getting put in to receive a coin from Sergeant Major of the Army and Sergeant Major of the Army Chandler, and then General Ordinero.
Wow.
And I got both those coins on the same day, but when Sergeant Major was walking, there was probably about 25 of us soldiers out there receiving coins. And so Sergeant Major's walking down the line, and he's, what have you done to earn this coin? Right. So we've got all these NCOs stuff. Oh, I manage these many soldiers, and I'm accountable for this much money and this and that. And he gets to me, and he's like, "Sergeant Boyer, what have you done to earn this coin?" I said, "Sergeant Major, I'm pretty much effing awesome."
You did not.
I did. My first sergeant standing behind me, he drops his head, and he's like, "Shit, that one's mine."
Oh my God, that is so funny.
So I didn't know if he wanted to rip my head off or if he wanted me to pull me to go work for him or what the case was, but he had this strange look in his eyes. But our brigade sergeant major was walking by after him shaking everybody's hand.
So you got the coin though?
Yeah,
right?
I got the coin.
Oh, wow,
I got the
awesome.
coin. But Sergeant Major Smith says, Sergeant Boyer, you and I stick together. I think everything's gonna be all right.
Oh man, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So it was just like, man, what do you say? He keeps hearing all the same stuff from all these other soldiers that are getting coins. I don't need to impress him. I work hard. I do what I do, and he puts his pants on the same as me. So
that's right.
So it was a pretty funny moment, and I had a lot of people walking up to me for a couple weeks after that, like, "Are you that guy?" I was like, "That was me."
That's funny. Well, Troy Bowyer, I appreciate it. You're that guy, man. Thanks
I am
for
that
taking the
guy.
time on the Honor Cross Arms podcast today. We really appreciate it. Thanks for being a veteran, and thanks for being a brother, man. Tune in to our Honor Cross Arms podcast. You can find us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Alexa, wherever you want to listen to us at. We're all knowing and everywhere, if you will. Join us next time on Honor Cross Arms. Thanks for tuning in today.
Line over there, over there. Send the word over there. That the Yanks are coming, the Yanks are coming. The drums rum-tumming everywhere. So prepare, say a prayer. Send the word to beware. We'll be over, we're coming over, and we won't come back till it's over there, over there.